World of Tanks Blueprint Guide. This is a guide that I wrote that goes into detail everything you want to know about blueprints. I am going to start from the top. You can earn a blueprint for a vehicle. It's actually called a fragment. It's better to get one for a high tier vehicle. Use your national and universal fragments on lower tier vehicles. So this is a fragment. You can earn one of these, you need 10. You want to use your blueprints on the lower tier vehicles. And the reason why is because you can win something that's specific to a vehicle. Like you can win the Minotauro fragment. You'd rather get a Minotauro fragment than a Basotto. Is that Basotto? Than the Basotto fragment. So use your fragments for the lower tier ones and let the game give you fragments for the higher tier ones. When I play a game and it gives me a fragment for a tank, sometimes you get like 3 of them, I always get high tier tanks. And the reason why you want to do that is because they have more value because of this right here. You see how it says 12 plus one of these? The lower tier, you only need like one universal. So you save a lot. This is tier 9. The fragments for a specific tank is equivalent to 12 universal, 3 national. If it were low tier, it would only be equivalent to 1 universal and 3 national. So that means that this is worth more universal, which means you don't need to use the 12. You could use this on 4 different tanks. But if you get it for this, you can only use it for 1 tank. You want to research your lower tier vehicles first. It's better to use free experience or play the low tier vehicles to save blueprints for higher tier vehicles. You want to play those lower tier tanks and get them all researched. In the long run, you're going to save. Make sure you research low tier vehicles as quickly as possible in order to avoid getting low tier blueprints. Low tier blueprints have a lower value. You don't want to win them. You want to win the high tier ones. Eventually, you will have every tank in the game, and then vehicle fragments will be converted into national or universal. It's done randomly. Be careful, the game does not take combat experience into account when creating blueprints. Use blueprints, only apply 1 fragment at a time, otherwise you might have extra combat experience you cannot use. So what I do is I apply 1, and then I check to see how much research is left over, and then I go apply another 1 and see how much research is left over. And I keep doing that because I've lost combat experience before, where like there was a vehicle that I had like 90% researched, and I had forgotten that I had all those research points waiting. So when I went and did the blueprints, I did all the blueprints, and then I ended up losing all the 90% that I earned by playing the game. You cannot pick the type of blueprint you receive, but you can influence the reward system by researching vehicles in the tech tree. If you research a vehicle, you won't get the blueprint. In the old system, you were more likely to get a blueprint if you performed better in battle. I don't know if it's still true, but it's possible that it is, because sometimes it says that you win blueprints, and I'm not sure why. These are the 3 types of blueprint fragments. A vehicle blueprint is for a specific vehicle, like the T-34. A national fragment is for one nation, such as the United States, and universal fragments can be used anywhere. This is the depot. You see it's got the architectural compass on the left in the menu. Blueprints of unresearched vehicles. Over here it says available for creating a fragment. That shows you which ones you can create a fragment for, which means you're doing some research. This is the number over here. You need a lot of these. If you don't have enough, you won't be able to use blueprints. You can see I've got a surplus. I've got 20 or 30 for every nation, but I've only got a few of the universal. These are the tanks I could research. It shows you how many fragments have already been done, what the percentage researched is, what's needed to create a fragment, etc. This is what it looks like. So in this case, there's 10 fragments. It will tell you if you can add one or not. If you can't, it just won't let you do it. But at least you can see what's already been done. This doesn't mean you can't research the vehicle. It just means you can't research it with only blueprints. You might have combat experience that's enough to research all of this, and you might not. You have to check both. So over here you see national fragment. It has the flag of the nation, used to create blueprint fragments of American vehicles, and it can be used in the alliance block, which is USA, UK, and Poland, and it shows 23 in the depot. In order to use it for a different block, you have to use a lot more. It's not worth it. A universal fragment used to create blueprint fragments of any researchable vehicle. So you need it. Every vehicle is going to need a certain number of these. I've only got 5. Over here, it shows you that 72% was researched using blueprints. You only need 20,000 more. Ignore the purchase price. It doesn't show the combat experience, and it doesn't deduct the combat experience. So if you've got 20,000 combat experience, you don't want any more blueprints. You want to go play the game to get the last 692 and then research it. You don't want to apply blueprints. So this is the MVYY. It's one of the Yo tanks in the American heavy tank line. This is showing for that vehicle, there's 2 out of 10 already collected, which is 18%, which is valued at 29,000. It shows you the alliance it's in, how many, in order to make one fragment, for example, number 3, I would need 12 universal and 3 American, or 12 universal and 18 UK, or 12 universal and 18 Poland. Over here you can see the ones that have blueprints available or fragments, empty spaces, will have a little percentage sign. For these other vehicles, it's possible that I've already researched them. I'm not sure. This is showing a vehicle. I'm not sure which one it is, but it shows that there's 100%. Oh, it's the Basotto. This is showing that I got it for free. I didn't have to research it. I just used blueprints, and I got 100% off, and I used 0 combat experience. This is showing in the battle pass that this is a prize, and you get 6 blueprints, which are national. I'm sorry. This is a universal blueprint. However, sometimes it will be national, and it won't show you the nations until after you win the prize. This is showing for the improved pass. If you click on the bottom at the button, it shows you that it comes with, it looks like 30 blueprints when you use the improved battle pass, which in this case I did use. This is showing if you play this mission, which is the one at the bottom over here, you see that it's 20 battle pass points, 3 fragments, but they're random. So it could be a vehicle, it could be universal, it could be a nation. This is showing that I won a reward. In fact, it was this one, 20 points plus 3 blueprints. I got 3 fragments and 20 battle pass points. In this case, the reward was 2 for the Yo tank and 1 for the Chinese with the jet booster heavy tank. These are the ones you want to get. The reason why is because when you do it the other way, when you create a fragment, which is here. It says you need 12 plus 3. You need 15. What I just showed you was just one. You don't want to win these. You want to win the one fragment that's specific to a tank. You don't want to get the 12 universal and the 3 national. If you get 10 of these, you get the tank. If you don't do it, you need like, I don't know, it would be like 15, it would be 150 to do it using the universal and the national. That's why these are the good rewards. But you can't pick the tank, and you don't want this to be a low tier tank. You want it to be a high tier vehicle. I got 3, 2 for one vehicle, 1 for another. I only have a few vehicles I haven't researched. They're all in the high tiers. This is, it says suspension blueprint. This is for the campaign mission. It has nothing to do with the blueprints in the depot. Over here it says blueprint fragment creation formula. For this vehicle, you need 12 universal, 4 for Poland, or 24 USA or 24 UK. You need 12 plus one of these 3. You always want to use the least number, because if they introduce a new line in one of these nations, you don't want to use up 24 blueprints when you could use just the 4. Okay, you see over here it says BZ58 and it says 49,280. When I got the BZ58, it's going to deduct from this number. This is the remaining value, the 49,000. But if you use the other screen, which is this one over here, it doesn't take into account all of your combat experience. So be careful when using this. Only use, you have to add 1, and then you got to go back and check this number to see how much is dropped. Goes below 0, you lose everything. You don't really lose it, but you're gonna, let's say you had 50,000. Let's say this is 100,000 and you already did 50. What would happen is, if you did it all blueprints, the 50,000 out of the 100 that you already did, you'd still have it. I'll show you later. I'll show you right now. Okay, so I am going to go into, I'm going to find a vehicle that I haven't researched yet. We will go to Italy, the Basotto. Okay, this has already been researched. This has already been researched. See this one, it says 112,000. It's already done. Do you understand the point that I'm making? Okay, this is not for the next vehicle. This is for the current vehicle. So this one needs 112,000. Already got 3 out of the 10. If I play this vehicle and research all of these, it will start having this combat experience on this right column, like with the Somua SM. You want to use this to research your vehicle. Now you can use it for field modification also. If you continue applying blueprints until it's 100% all blueprints, and then you research it, your combat experience won't be used. And then you might, so like, let's say you play 100,000 EXP, and you also have all the blueprints, and you use the blueprints, then this number is going to have 100,000, and you got to pay gold to use it. You don't want to be in that situation. So be careful. You go to the blueprint, you apply only 1 at a time, and you come back and check until you've learned how to do it properly. I guarantee you'll do it wrong. Okay, so that's how blueprints work. You go to the depot over here. you click on the compass. You click over here and it will show you which vehicle to use. And all the information is right here. Okay, so that is it. I'm going to switch back to the other screen. If you have any questions or comments, you can go to the forum here. I don't have a lot of information about blueprints, obviously, because there's really not that much to say. But there is some information about the blueprint exchange, which they did in the past, how to use blueprints. This explains a little bit step by step. This is basically what is a blueprint, how to get them is down here. And I just posted them a week ago, which is why it doesn't have a lot of views yet. And if you have any questions, you can post them here, which is at cheapbooks.cc. You can go to the World of Tanks section. I also own cheapbooks.com, which is a website that lists books and textbooks. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.